When Kobe and I decided to create a podcast and coined it the Father Son Podcast, most would feel this is a gimmick for the podcast, and that couldn't be further from the truth. From the day Kobe was born, I introduced him to video games. This was a way of life for me, as I can remember my father buying me the Odyssey home system, where the cellophane field that clung to the TV determined what game you were playing. Kobe's love for video games grew, as did the bond of a father and a son. When I introduced him to online play, his world opened to new heights. He learned quickly that the incredible gaming experience wasn't just something shared between a father and a son, but there was an entire world that shared his passion for gaming. Gaming was just part of his upbringing, as school or sports was. We always made arrangements that a video game experience was just an arm's length away, even when we went on vacation. As Kobe got older, our experience took us to the road, experiencing events like the Great E3 to more modern events like Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Experience, IGN, and PAX. Kobe graduated from college and now works in the video game industry on the Xbox team. So, as you can see, it was nothing but natural progression to now share our experience and love of the industry through our podcast. Now sit back and enjoy the ride.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Father and Son Gaming Podcast right here on Active Reload Gaming. My name is Kobe, aka Kobe127. That is Kevin, aka Octane699, with the different background. If anyone has missed the episode that we did on Friday, it kind of explains the whole situation and why things look a little bit different. So definitely encourage you to go and check out the live tab in our YouTube VODs to see what it's all about. But yeah, you're in a new location. How are you doing? How was the weekend?
Not too bad. We had a little bit of trouble with our first hotel that we went into, but we made amends. We found a better hotel, and things are perfect. We just had a great meal. You know, we're away from about 2 hours away from our house, and this is where we're going to be for the next 51 days.
It's going to be a long time. Now, with everything said, you know, because today we're going to be talking about the biggest games. I've been bugging you, and I want to ask, have you seen Invincible yet, the new season?
I did not. I downloaded it. I have it here. I'm going to have 51 days to do a lot of things, so I will watch it.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that is important for one of the games coming out at the end of this month is obviously we're going to be talking about Invincible Versus, but yeah, the season 4 of Invincible has been really popping off. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I've read the comics, so like I think it's really doing justice to the comics, and also The Boys is coming back on April 8th. Cannot wait for that to actually hit Prime Video. There's a lot of good shows out right now. There's too much content nowadays, and I think as we run down the month of April for gaming, I think we quickly realize how lucky we are as just content enjoyers and consumers, but it's also like at a certain point, when can all the developers just agree to delay their games for a year? Because I have such a massive nasty backlog at this point that, like, especially, you know, I've been streaming here Crimson Desert, and it's like when that game is demanding 100 plus hours, and then Marathon is also demanding more of my time, and I still have things I didn't even get to play from this year yet that came out. Like, you know, this has been sitting on my desk for the longest time. Neo 3, like, I haven't even gotten a chance to even play that. It's just, we need to chill out. And then I just know once the Nexus event happens at the end of the year with GTA 6, everything's going to go down the shitter at this rate. Like, no other games will be played.
But, you know, we're not the only ones to say this, that, you know, the TikTok and the streaming video stuff, that is now impeding on gaming time. But you say your backlog of television. I'm backlogged on Monarch. I'm backlogged on Daredevil. I'm backlogged on Invincible. And now The Boys will be starting. Like, it's just so. And I only have about an hour and a half in on Crimson Desert just because of situational stuff. But there's just not enough time in a day anymore.
Yeah, and even for like anime fans out there, like I know the winter season has just pretty much concluded with all the shows coming out. I watched JJK, was really good, but now we're moving into a whole new season. So like I think point being, no matter which avenue you're going down, even if it's movies, books, television, gaming, there is too much stuff happening and it's very hard to cut through all the weeds and like actually just enjoy what you want to enjoy, because it's always like the next best thing is always out, and it's like at a certain point when can you have when do you have to say stop to FOMO and just play what you want to play or watch what you want to watch and like just keep it at that.
But we do enjoy you guys tuning in live or later on, taking a precious time out of your day to watch our podcast. And
Yes.
Each and every
Also, this is just water. In case if anyone's wondering what's in the red Solo cup, this is nothing promiscuous. My cups are in the dishwasher. My cups are in the dishwasher. So I am not drinking live. This is just water. I'm not making any faces either. So
yeah, nope. I'm just water.
But today we're going to be talking about the biggest games coming out in, well, when's April? 2 days from now. The biggest games in April 2026. There is a lot of games coming out. Welcome, Touchy, to the podcast. Let me know what games you're excited for throughout 2026. So we got a huge list running down, and let's just get right into it. So starting off the month on April 1st, Goat Simulator 3 is getting its Nintendo Switch 2 port. I know you're a big Goat Simulator fan. I don't think you checked out Goat Simulator 3, but does this game coming to Switch 2 do anything for you?
Again, if this was 3 years ago, yes, I'd be all over it. I just don't see where Goat Simulator 3 is going to fit into my playtime and backlog. And it's just the reality. It's an outstanding franchise. I just don't see it falling in place.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't really move the needle for me. Like I liked Goat Simulator 1 when it came out at that time. I had no interest in any of these subsequent Goat Simulators just because like it was a lightning in a bottle moment. I don't think I will ever go back to these styles of games. But as we move on in terms of kind of the crazy, wacky games coming out with kind of unique flavoring, I want to call it, on April 2nd is Darwin's Paradox. We saw this at the Sony State of Play. We've been seeing this a lot of times. This is the game made by Konami where you're playing as an octopus. It's very Octodad, Dadliest Catch for a while. But like this seems to be more of a 2D side scroller platform where you're playing as, I assume his name is Darwin. You're solving puzzles. Like I said, we've seen this a lot graphically. This game looks amazing. But for me, I don't know if it does enough for me to put down like Crimson Desert or Marathon to really jump into this, even though the Metal Gear Solid level that they did release was endearing. But do you want to check out Darwin's Paradox at all?
See, it's interesting because the reality, and I'll say this, if this was 5 years ago, I'd be all over it. But I'm at that point, like you said, is it something that's going to take me away from Crimson Desert or the other games coming out to play it? And I don't see it, but I think it's an incredible looking game, and I would have normally played that.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, there's really not much more to be said about it. I think if it's one of those games that reviews very well and people on the streets are saying, yo, this is actually really sick, maybe I'll hop over. And I see Touchy saying I'm really tempted to get into Crimson Desert. And that's the thing. Like that game is taking up my life right now. And it's like when I do want to play a video game, it's either that or Marathon. So like it's going to be really hard to pull me away. Now there are games later this month that will definitely pull me away. We'll get into it. But I actually want to talk about on April 7th is Starfield for the PlayStation 5 with the new Starfield update that is supposed to be revamping a lot of the game and also the new DLC. So with the new expansion, because you've already owned Starfield, you've played it, you've beat this game many of times already. Does the new expansion coming out, the Armada expansion, and all the promises of the new updates, especially cleaning up how flying works, space travel, and working out the kinks that this game really had, do you think you want to step into the Unity one more time and go into Starfield on April 7th?
And again, I've watched and read all of the updates. Like you could literally fly into a planet now. It doesn't go through a cut screen to get in and all. It sounds great, but I think my excitement for Starfield has passed.
And that's crazy because you are the Bethesda guy. Like for
Yeah.
me, you've always been that Bethesda person, the one who screams about Bethesda from the top of their lungs. And like I feel like as we've gotten further away from Starfield, I think you were really high on it when it started, but I feel like you've really kind of went lower on that game as time went on and after you finished it.
Yeah, and again, I look at this like my cyberpunk. Um, I got that when it first came out. I again with all the glitches, it was tough, and I know they totally revamped it, totally different game. I just can't get back to it. I think that that's the Starfield in me. Like, yes, I've looked at all the new trailers. I looked at what they've patched. Again, you're back to with the games coming out. I don't know that I can look backwards. I got to look forward with all the new heat coming out that they're making. That's the problem. If I didn't have anything else to play, if I didn't have 100+ hour Crimson Desert staring down the double barrel at me, I would. But I got to look forward in my gaming right now.
Yeah, I fully agree. I do not think I'm going to be returning to Starfield. I liked Starfield for what it was when it first came out, but yeah, this just doesn't move the needle for me. Especially, I keep mentioning Crimson Desert, but when we have this new generational open world game that is literally redefining what normal logic about an open world game is and what we've all learned. Like when a game comes and just rewrites the inherent logic of how we've come to know open world games to whatever degree you find Crimson Desert, like it's an interesting game and I want to keep exploring it and seeing what the wackiness is. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to return to this, but I really hope that the PS5 player base who have been waiting to play Starfield have the best time of their life. Like I hope they get the experience that Starfield was always intended to be. So, but in terms of heat, coming out on April 8th. I know Touchy in the Discord has mentioned this game once before. This one is called Samson. So I believe this comes from an Just Cause developer. This is going to be out April 8th, only on PC to start. And this game looks crazy. Like the amount of hand-to-hand combat that this game is fully relying on. I think this is going to be a $30 package, so not full price. It really reminds me of Sleeping Dogs with how that hand-to-hand combat really played out. I think from a presentation level, this looks really cool. I think the story idea is, Samson comes home from the war streets of Tindleston, a place that built him hard and never forgave him. And essentially, like, you are able to drive around, you're able to fist fight, you're going to be fighting in every corner. And essentially your debt grows by the hour, and the people holding it squeeze harder every day. Every job, every dollar, every choice cuts a path forward or shuts it down. No do-overs, no safety net. And I think this is just a really interesting looking game. And I am really curious to see how this will play out, especially, like I said, I think it's from an Just Cause developer, which Just Cause was a great game.
This is 100% on my playlist for April.
What about it excites you to actually pull you away and hop in?
Again, I won the look of it. I'm a sucker for good graphics, and I think this will, scratch the itch of the precursor to GTA coming out. And I do like that it's a little more intimate with the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
So again, it's something new. It's something unique that again checks all of my boxes. So I think that's why I'll give it a shot.
Fully agree. Up next on April 8th as well, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't think you or I are going to really invest in it. But for people in the know, who want to be in the know, Pokemon Champions comes out on mobile and Nintendo Switch. New entry in the Pokemon Champions subset of the Pokemon games. So essentially, it's going to be an arena battler. If you've seen a Pokemon Champion game or a Pokemon Arena game before, you know how this is going to play out. I don't even know if I need to ask, but are you going to be playing this?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing this either. But I'm really excited to see that Pokemon Champions is having a new entry in that subset of the franchise. Then, as we move on to April 14th, Hades 2 finally comes to every other platform, which is going to be Xbox and PlayStation 5. Hades 2 was a Game of the Year nominee last year. I think it is one of the best roguelites to ever exist. I think it takes the formula of Hades 1 and just amplifies it. Like, if you had a enjoyment of Hades 1, you are going to enjoy Hades 2 even more because it takes those inherent gameplay systems and refines it and just makes it the best possible version it can be. And being able to add the second layer that you can go, there's a top layer and bottom layer that you can travel with 4 levels each, having 8 total bosses to roll through, being able to mix and match what your build is going to look like. Hades 2 realistically is just a phenomenal video game. It is a video game, and it super succeeds at that. I know you've seen Hades 2. I know if it's interested you a little bit. Now that it's finally on Xbox and you can pop gamer score, do you think you will try Hades 2?
Possibly. Again, we're just looking at seeing how far along I am in the forward of my, I guess it's a new thing I'm going to do. It's not a backlog, it's a forward log.
Yeah.
Of what I'm looking to play. If there's time, yes, I will definitely give that a shot.
Yeah, I highly encourage people to check out Hades 2. It's only $30. Hades 2 is legitimately one of the best games ever made. So highly recommend. But on the same day, another indie title that is coming out. This one has been on my radar for so long. In 2024, I played it at Summer Game Fest Play Days, and this game is Replaced. Replaced is a brand new 2D pixelated game that looks to be the Blade Runner game that I've always wanted. You are uncovering the sinister secrets of Phoenix Corporation through the eyes of its own creation, Reach, an AI trapped in a human body against its will. It is set in an alternate 1980s America reshaped by nuclear catastrophe. Phoenix City has become one of the corporation's strongholds, a haven for corruption where outlaws thrive and human life is traded like currency. Step into the role of Reach, expose the corporation's hidden agenda, and uncover the purpose behind your creation. Let me tell you that, first off, the graphical presentation of this game, I absolutely adore. Having this 2.5D cinematic action platformer wrapped in an intense cyberpunk thriller narrative is absolutely, me, I'm a sci-fi person, and I'm especially a dystopian person. Anytime you give me a really good dystopian story, especially when it has like the sauce like this, I am all in. And let me tell you that what doesn't really show on the gameplay here, when I held the sticks, and there was also a demo that came out on Steam Next Fest this year, so you can, if that demo is still available, you can go try it. The combat plays like Batman Arkham. So if you enjoy the Batman Arkham style, where you have your X to hit, your Y to counter and parry, but you also get a pistol, like it's a Blade Runner pistol, and you have limited ammo, and that is used for very specific situations to get yourself out of, you are going to adore this game. It is the Batman Arkham combat system layered in this very stylistic dystopian 2.5D game. This game has been so long in the making, and to finally see it released on April 14th brings me so much joy, especially as a Blade Runner fan.
I think I will definitely give this a shot. Those graphics and the way that it's presented is pretty fire. I would jump into that. And
it is coming to PC and Xbox Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, by all means, go for it. Give it a shot. Download it. Show the developers some love, because they've been at this game for so long. I cannot wait for this. This is one of my most anticipated games of the month. But then 2 days later, we have another indie darling coming out. This game is another one that has been shown for, I can't even tell you how many years at this point that this game has been shown. But this is Mouse PI for Hire. I think if you have been paying attention to a lot of the State of Plays, Xbox showcases, you have seen this game before. Mouse PI for Hire is coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And this is an action-packed first-person shooter that draws inspiration from the classic cartoons of the 1930s. It's black and white. Rubber hose visuals are drawn by hand, frame by frame, delivering a striking vintage aesthetic. And I think when you look look at this game, that's the first thing that you're going to see. It has that Cuphead aesthetic, but it's wrapped in a black and white layer, really mimicking, Steamboat Willie. And you are a detective in this world, voiced by Troy Baker. And the combat itself actually looks very BioShock-ish. So, and I am really excited for this because it looks part boomer shooter, part BioShock, part detective adventure, really wrapped in this visual flair. Obviously, this trailer it got delayed, but I am super stoked for Mouse PI for Hire. Are you going to be checking this one out?
The thing is that I would like to know, is the difficulty like the Cuphead? Is it going to be one of those games that, hey, it's known for the difficulty? If it's difficulty Cuphead-ish, then probably not. If it's not, then I would give it a shot.
I don't think this is going to be. I think they'll have your difficulty sliders, but I think this is going to be more along the lines of like a BioShock difficulty. If I had to really take a guess, it's going to be a first-person shooter where you're running around, you're shooting things. Like, you've played many of FPSs before, so you know how it's going to play out.
Then I would definitely give this a shot. And this is dropping on Xbox and where else?
This will be on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. So you can find Mouse PI for Hire on all the platforms. But on the same day, a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. Tomodachi Life is coming back. The demo is currently out on Nintendo Switch. It looks to be playing into the Animal Crossing vibes, Pokemon Pocopia vibes, but you get to create your Mii. And the game looks absolutely ridiculous. I've been seeing a lot of funny videos pop up online. One of my favorite ones was someone created Billy the Puppet from Jigsaw. And was like, you can like make a friend, and it's like, what do you want you to talk to your friend about? And the thing was like, I want to talk about games. And they became best friends. But Tomodachi Life is coming out on April 16th. I don't think you're really going to be hopping over to this. But Tomodachi Life has a huge crowd. So the fans will be eating, as this is, I think it's been 10 some years since the last one. So yeah, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I'll be curious to see the conversation about how it feels compared to Pokemon Pocopia and where people are going to be landing on those styles of games this year. So the next one on April 16th that I find to be very interesting, which comes out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, is a game called Cthulhu, The Cosmic Abyss. This takes place in 2053, and across the globe, the occult threat grows ever more blatant and strange. Incomprehensible events multiply. As the Earth's surface resources dwindle, powerful corporations turn to the uncharted depths of the ocean, unaware of the ancient horror that they are about to awaken. This game popped up on my radar probably earlier this month. I would say, like, I had not seen this before, and this horror game looks to be doing some interesting things. One, I think Nacon is a great publisher. They published the RoboCop games, so they definitely, and they've also published Hell Is Us, which I thought was a really good game as well. But that being said, Cthulhu, the Cthulhu just lore in itself is already interesting. You have a lot to pull from. And I think doing a proper Eldritch horror video game is very hard to pull off. But I think having this one set in the far dystopian future with corporations actually trying to profit off of the oceans, profit off of the Cthulhu Eldritch horror, especially coming off of Iron Lung this year with the movie that Markiplier made, I'm kind of fiending for this kind of story. And I think this looks super interesting. Graphical presentation looks great. Are you into Lovecraftian horror at all?
Well, I never even heard of it coming out here, but there was a Cthulhu game made for the OG Xbox. It's not, it has nothing to do. They just did a Cthulhu, right? It's nothing to do with that original one from the OG Xbox.
I mean, Cthulhu is a large brand. Like, he is a monster. So you can slap Cthulhu on anything, and it's like for all those who know, like SCP or the Backrooms, like it can be an umbrella term for whatever you want to make.
Yeah, this is the first I've actually seen anything with this. It's looking interesting, and again, as everybody knows, if it's horror-esque, I would 100% give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really curious because, like I said, Lovecraftian horror does not work for everyone. I think just Eldritch Horror in itself is already a hard enough sell because it really works on messing with the mind and having the incomprehensible. And I think when there isn't something tangible to latch onto, I think there is a subset of horror fans, I'm not saying everyone, but when there isn't something tangible to latch onto or something that makes logical sense, I think a lot of people bow out because, especially with Lovecrafting, a lot of it is that psychological eldritch. So like it might not be like the in your face horror, but it's more of that slow mental degradation that I really like. Like for all those who play Bloodborne, like that is Eldritch Horror at the highest tier, because as you go further into the game, you get more insight and you start to see creatures that just make no logical sense and you have to take it at face value. And I really like that.
Yeah, no, looking at this, I think this is definitely going to go on my what did I call it?
Your forward log.
My forward log.
Well, but the real upsetting thing is this game comes out on April 16th, and the very next day on April 17th, a game comes out on Xbox, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. And this is one of my most anticipated games of April, and that is Pragmata. The newest game, newest IP made by Capcom. I have played Pragmata 3 times. I initially played it last year at Summer Game Fest Play Days. I then played it at PAX, and then the sketchbook demo came out on all platforms, and I played it again. And let me tell you, for a while, I did not think Pragmata was real. This game has the sauce, and I am telling you, this is going to be an amazing 12 to 15 hour romp. Capcom has not been missing lately. I think Capcom has been on a generational run, and I love to see Capcom experimenting with new IP. Something that is this fresh and unique really caught my eye, and let me tell you, the actual combat system that drives this game forward is absolutely stunning. Having a traditional third-person shooter layered with an actual puzzle mechanic in order to hack into the enemies to deal full damage really adds a whole layer of tenseness that I wasn't really anticipating. Now, the question is whether or not this gets stale after 8 hours or so. I think we'll see as we progress through the game. But I think this game is unique enough. I don't know if the story is going to be overly well written. I don't know if it's going to be that kind of game. But I think this game has a style and visual uniqueness and gameplay uniqueness that really has driven my curiosity towards it. I know you haven't really tried Pragmata yet. Are you interested in Pragmata?
This is the type of game, in my opinion, that I would be watching somebody play online and watching them for an hour, but I just don't think that I would play this. It just isn't my type.
Yeah, what about it is just not hitting for you?
You know me, I'm really not space. Like, I don't like space games. I don't, Dead Space was one of the anomalies in my mind. But I'm just not that type of space. Anything Star Wars, of course, I'll play, but it's a certain look that I just don't want to jump into it for whatever reason.
So, I guess, like, do you not like that sterile space? Because to me, Pragmata is very sterile. It looks very clean. It's very white. Like, it's just got that medical feel to it.
Just like you said that you like the sci-fi, I am more of apocalyptic. Give me an apocalyptic and I'll try anything in an apocalyptic. So if your genre is that, I am the apocalyptic guy.
Touchy's in the chat, and Touchy's cooking, saying space games are the best. I love sci-fi. Give me space. Give me any of it. Like, I will. Apocalyptic. I will always eat up space. But for all those who have been watching this podcast and enjoying what you're seeing, let me tell you, you should consider subscribing or following us on all of our socials. Right here, you can follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Spotify at Active Reload Gaming. And then on Twitch or Twitter/X, that is with Active Rel, that is with an REL, Active Rel Gaming. So I really think you should consider. We would greatly appreciate if you can come follow us over there. We would happy to have you and see you more often within the chats. Be really cool. And, You don't have to, but if you've been enjoying this, we would greatly appreciate it. So anything you want to say?
Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Also, there's a QR code in the top left corner that you can scan with your phone, and you can hop into our Discord and start chatting with us. We would greatly appreciate it as we build this community with you.
We love that you subscribe to one platform. Please go subscribe to all.
Yep, we would greatly appreciate it. Touchy says Kevin should try EVE Online. The basic version is available for free. I know I loved it when I played it. Touchy, you're not going to get this man to play anything. Like, you can try all you want. I've tried having him watch television, having him try to play games. It's impossible. If he has a certain idea of what a game is, he's not going to play it. I'm just breaking it now.
Truth. You're speaking the truth.
But, as we saw today, the Xbox Showcase is happening in June with the Gears of War E-Day Direct. So a sci-fi game, a dystopian game.
Apocalyptic horror.
But that's the game he will drop everything for, no matter what he's playing. Even if Grand Theft Auto 6 came down and shook his hand and said you can have it early, he would drop that for Gears E-Day. But that's coming out. Who knows when that's coming out?
Gears supersedes every game.
But all that being said, the next game that is coming out is on 4/20, and that is Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch. For the fans of the Jay and Silent Bob movies, they are making a new game, apparently. I didn't even know about this until I was looking up what is coming out in April. But, I looked at the trailer and the game looks like the perfect amount of ridiculousness. So for all Jay and Silent Bob fans out there, there is a new adventure awaiting for you. And it looks like it's going to be very fun. It looks like it's going to be the perfect 420 game for all those who want to, partake on 420. But it definitely it really reminds me of, what was it? Penny Arcade. What the hell was that series called? That we have a pack shirt from it, and it has that visual. God, I gotta look that up now. But it really reminds me of, I think it was Penny Arcade. Penny Arcade games. It has that visual style to it, and I think it looks unique. But I think a beat 'em up is the perfect kind of style for what this game is going to be. So have at it for Jay and Silent Bob fans. Touchy says, oh no, lol. Jay and Silent Bob, I watched those movies many times in college. I have seen the movies many times as well. That and Mallrats. Kevin Smith be making some weird shit. And even his horror movie Tusk is weird as hell. But he is a very interesting director. And that comes out, I think, on all platforms. So go and check it out if you desire. The next game is on April 21st, which is Vampire Crawlers. Vampire Crawlers is the follow-up game to Vampire Survivors. But this one, instead of being a top-down roguelike, you are going to be doing a deck building roguelike. So it is in the same style as Vampire Survivors. You will lose so many hours into this game, but it is now a deck builder. So if you want to hop back into the Vampire Survivors universe, but you want to have the deck building side of things, go for it. This comes out on April 21st. This looks really interesting. I don't know if this is your style of game. I loved Vampire Survivors, but I'm not that big into deck builders. So I'm curious to see you. I don't even know if you really even played a roguelike. I don't know if it's really your genre.
It's not. And with my forward log, I'm going to coin that one. That's my new one. My forward log. I just wouldn't have any time to play that.
Up next on April 23rd is the new game from Double Fine Studios from Xbox, and this is Kiln. Kiln is the new multiplayer game that is being developed by Double Fine, so it's going to have that Double Fine charm. It is going to be a 4v4 pottery fighter, where you get to go, you form your own pottery, which becomes your shell for your spirits, and you go and you have to douse the kilns. And it's kind of like a MOBA-ish kind of style game where you are going down your lanes, you are fighting, you are brawling. There's a combo system to this game. Kiln definitely looks very interesting. But I don't know if this is going to be the multiplayer game to really pull me away from what I'm currently playing. But from what I can say, the actual pottery making looks super satisfying. And I might download. I mean, the game's going to be on Game Pass. It's going to be on all platforms. So like on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So I think I might download it on Game Pass just for the pottery making itself because it just looks satisfying. What do you feel about this? As you know, you're an avid Xbox fan. You love Double Fine games. Do you like to see them taking this huge of a swing with their studio, following up Keeper?
Yeah, when I first heard about this, I thought this is the stupidest game ever that they're going to make. But when I watch them go through this, it's intriguing and stupid enough that I think I would give it a shot to play it.
Yeah, it might be one of those, like for me, just one of those weekend multiplayer romps that I go on with a few buddies just to see how it feels, maybe get a good laugh in. But I don't know if this is going to be my live service game, if that makes sense. I think right now that's Marathon. Like I don't see myself getting pulled away from Marathon to invest my live service hours into a game like this. But I mean, I really hope it sets the world on fire. I hope it finds its audience because it is a fun, unique idea. And I really like to see new ideas, new IPs going into the video game industry. It's what's really needed. So I hope it pops off.
Again, I will give it a shot. But Touchy Feely said that Half Baked was in his rotation. It's still in my rotation, and I also went to Kutztown, so must be a Kutztown thing.
Well, thinking of things that might have been in your rotation when you were younger, were you a He-Man fan? Because a new He-Man and the Masters in the Universe game is coming out on April 28th. This is another 2D pixelated side-scroller beat-em-up, but set in the He-Man Masters of the Universe. It is coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This is obviously, the trailer says it's inspired by the golden age of co-op beat 'em ups. I know you like your beat 'em ups, and I know you play maybe 1 to 2 every year. I think when it comes down to beat 'em ups does the driving franchise want to bring you in? And are you, Dad, that much fan of He-Man to really be pulled into this game and give it a go?
Well, let's get your terminology straight. It's called MOTU. Masters of the Universe. That's what the collectors call it, the MOTU.
Okay.
Yes, I grew up. I was a He-Man fan. I would give this a shot without a doubt.
Is there, I guess, being a He-Man fan, also it looks like it is being published by Limited Run as well, so there will be probably a Limited Run physical for it. As a He-Man fan, I feel like we don't see that much He-Man representation that much anymore. I know there is the new live action movie coming out with Jared Leto as Skeletor. I roll my eyes at that.
He'll do it great as he did with Joker.
With Morbius as well.
Morbius, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Joker was Joaquin. No, he did. I forgot that. That's how bad it was. I have erased the Suicide Squad from my mind, but.
Correct.
I don't think there's a lot of representation nowadays of He-Man. As a He-Man fan, especially growing up watching it, when it comes to a game like this, is there anything that you hope that they do to ignite the He-Man fandom? And like, what do you think they need to do to bring non-He-Man fans into the franchise?
Well, I don't know that there's anything that you're going to do to bring non-He-Man fan, unless you're a beat 'em up guy. But as a fan, to me, I equate, the He-Man to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get more love, the He-Man doesn't. But for me as a fan, they need to He-Man was very, very deep in its characters. Like, that's what I hope, that they bring back a lot of the characters and the that's where it shined, because it had ridiculous characters every week. It's, if you go back, you're an Ultraman fan.
Like ridiculous villains of the week.
Correct. Like, they always had a lot of those coming back, and like I said, Ultraman, every week there was a new.
Let me ask you this then, from a gameplay level design standpoint, do you hope that each level is fighting against the iconic villains of the week? Like make each level just going against different people with their set dressing and just going along like that?
Yeah, because Skeletor would send out his henchmen to go after He-Man and everything, and He-Man. So yes, that's the way. Like if I had to wave my magic wand and make this the way that I want, every level would be going after those iconic villains. Fighting those iconic villains, working your way up to Skeletor. But he never killed Skeletor, so he can't, and they wouldn't do it in the game.
That just means Jared Leto is going to live on in the movies. On April 28th as well, we're continuing down the April 28th train. A game called Ys Memoir, Revelations, and Celceta is coming to Nintendo Switch for the first time. I believe this game was exclusively on PlayStation Portable at one point, and it started getting ported to other things, and this is going to be the first time it's getting ported to Nintendo Switch. I know Ys has a big fandom. I have not indulged in the games, but I do know it is a beloved JRPG. And then not rounding out yet, but next on April 28th is a game that I am really intrigued about. This comes from Dotnod, who are the developers of Life is Strange, and this is called Aphelion. This is going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And this is a sci-fi action adventure on the edge of our solar system. By 2060, Earth will be uninhabitable. The discovery of a ninth planet, Persephone, at the edge of the solar system is humanity's best hope. The European Space Agency is dispatching the Hope 01 scientific mission, consisting of two of their accomplished astronauts, Ariane and Thomas. Their mission is to survey the planet and determine whether humanity can prosper anew here. And if I'm not mistaken, the developers had actually teamed up with NASA to get accurate science into this game. Let me just double check that. But as a, space nerd and loving, like Touchy Feely said in chat earlier, give me anything that is sci-fi. Oh, no. So this game is in collaboration with the European Space Agency. So the European Space Agency is actually giving them data, actually making sure that the science is good. So with this game in collaboration with that and going on this expedition to this new planet called Persephone, I am super intrigued to see what this story is going to be, because I love my sci-fi adventures, but I also love sci-fi adventures that are akin to an Interstellar, akin to Project Hail Mary that just came out, where it is humanity's on the brink of extinction. How can we leverage the stars and transport humanity to somewhere unknown? Can we as society have an inhabitable place for us? I think science fiction has tackled that many, many times again. And if you give me a good science fiction story that tackles these ideas, I'm all in. And I just think this could have really high potential to do something really interesting, especially in collaboration with the ESA. What do you think about Aphelion?
Yeah, this is definitely not for me. Again, I admire everything that it is, but I just can't see myself playing this.
Yeah, I am going to be all over this, because this is also... Now, let me intrigue you. What was if I told you this is also a horror game?
Well, I don't see any horror aspect.
Because you have to hide to survive in this game. You are also not alone on this planet. There is a hostile life form stalking you. Avoid detection, intense, thrilling stealth sequences. Use the environment to your advantage and stay one step ahead of whatever hunts you. Explore Persephone, complete the mission, all while trying to survive in the terrifying presence of an unknown enemy.
Then I would have to watch some gameplay before I would say, yes, I would jump into this.
Yeah, this just, like I said, this is hitting all the marks for me. And Dotnod has made really good games. I really like Dotnod. I mean, I'm a huge Life is Strange fan. So I know in terms of the storytelling department, they're competent and they know how to tell a good story. Now, can they take their competence and wrap it in a good sci-fi adventure with going to the stars to leverage if humanity can survive? I'm all in. But rounding out April 28th. April 28th is a really large day for games. We are returning to Hell, which means Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, the new expansion in the Diablo 4 game. I was going to say Diablo franchise, but Diablo 4 is coming out. I loved Diablo 4 when it first came out. I did not play any of the expansions, but actually my buddies and I, we have been actually discussing going back to Diablo 4 because we've been itching for a looter style game. And with the new expansion, with the new classes that are coming out, this looks to be very meaty. Also, they just released a Doom collab, so I'm definitely going to go and buy the Doom skins for it and go slay some demons. But I think this is going to be the perfect time for me to hop back into Diablo 4 with the 2 new classes and just hopping in, playing as a paladin and being with my buddies and slaying some demons. Once again, I don't know for you if this is enough to get you back into Diablo 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough to jump back into the Diablo 4, which I thought Diablo 4 was outstanding. But again, with my forward log, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm going to be playing this because my buddies want to play this. I don't think I was going to go back on my own, but because my friends have shown real interest in this expansion, yeah, I'm going to be all in on Diablo 4 again. Like I said, I played the hell out of it when it first launched. I got to level 82 Necromancer, and then I just got burned out. I was really gunning for that level 100, but that was the summer in between graduating and coming out to Seattle for a real-time job. So I literally had nothing else to do in the 2 months that I was waiting. So I just grinded the hell out of Diablo 4. So I don't think I'll be able to grind as much as I did then. But I'm excited to get back in and see all the updates and how they have reworked many of the systems that this game had. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll be curious to see how Diablo fans feel about this once this game is in our hands.
It looks tight, man. It looks like, a very good expansion for Diablo.
Touchy says if the expansions were cheap, I might get back into it, but they normally aren't from Blizzard. Yeah, I assume this is probably going to be a $40 expansion. Yeah. But the only thing I will say in terms of Blizzard expansions, like, it's not like they're cutting corners on content when they do it. Like when Blizzard releases expansion, especially for like World of Warcraft, like you are getting an expansion with hundreds of hours of gameplay. So like it's one of those things where how you view an expansion, but at least in terms of Blizzard, I've always viewed their expansions as pretty much like light sequels to the games. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they really when you look at expansions, they're probably some of the bigger expansions in the industry when they do it. Like again, it is to me 3/4 of a full game when they do an expansion.
Yeah,
but, and then that Microsoft owns them, we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. And then actually rounding out April 28th is a game that is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And this is called Will: Follow the Light. Will: Follow the Light is a story-driven first-person adventure puzzle game about a perilous personal journey through the harsh northern latitudes. To find peace and reunite with his family, Will must sail across endless waters, face numerous challenges, and ultimately discover himself. You play as Will, a lighthouse keeper on a remote island in the northern seas. The story begins during one of your typically solitary shifts when an unexpected radio message shatters the routine. A sudden disaster has struck your hometown and your only son is missing. Determined to find him, you must set out on a quest aboard your sailing yacht, Molly, navigating the treacherous northern seas. This game to me really reminds me of Firewatch, which is one of those very retrospective kinds of stories where it is about the person, it's about the journey, it's about the mental fortitude, what you're really thinking, and really being intimate with the character. I really like these styles of games because they usually don't overstay their welcome. You're in and out, and it's really usually a beautiful story. And I think this is an interesting one, especially with disaster hitting your hometown and you're going to see if your son is even alive. I'm really curious to see how introspective this game truly is and if it can match, the highs that a Firewatch-like game has had. This is being developed by Tomorrowhead Studios, and like I said, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Are you into these introspective titles?
Yeah, this is definitely not my type of game, but I would watch this again, somebody playing it, because I think the graphics look really, really intense.
Yeah, the graphical presentation does look really good. But like I said, I really like introspective style storytelling, so I'm really curious to see what it's going to be like. However, April 30th, we're at the end of April, and this is the big day, especially for me. I think one of the two games you're going to really like, and the other one I think I'm going to really like. I'm going to love both of them for very different reasons. Let's start with Invincible Versus. Invincible Versus is obviously a new tag team fighting game using the Invincible IP. Once again, as we talked at the top of the hour of this podcast, I am a massive Invincible fan. I think this is truly in my top 3 favorite superhero stories of all time. I think the way they tell Mark Grayson's story, what the subject material is about, the satire it has on the superhero genre is absolutely amazing. Now, take the violence of Invincible, mash into a tag team fighting game of a Marvel versus Capcom style, and bring in the gore of Mortal Kombat. I am all in. I have been jonesing for a fighting game in a long time. Like, I have not had that fighting game. The last one I really got into and like was actually playing ranked really well was Injustice 2. I think this might be the game for me just because of how much I love Invincible. And I think the way that they have actually been positioning this game, the way it's been playing out, the gameplay and what I've been hearing from people who have been play testing it since the game has been released, it is feeling really tight. It's feeling really fluid. And I think it's going to sit really nice in that high B tier fighting game. I don't think it's going to make the splash of a Street Fighter, Tekken, or Mortal Kombat, but I think it's going to sit really nice in that high B tier. And I think fighting game fans, and especially Invincible fans, are going to rejoice about this game.
Yeah, I can't wait. This one's going to hit hard for me. I think just the Invincible itself playing, but like you and I talked about, I'm wondering if they're going to have a single player,
story
mode in this, which would really make this at the top of my list.
Let me take a look, because I was interested to see, like, my feeling it might be how Mortal Kombat used to do it with just like climbing the tower arcade mode, and you might get like a cutscene at the end about the character you're playing. It says, yes, Invincible Versus will feature a story mode designed to feel like a playable episode of the show. Developed by Quarter Up in collaboration with Skybound, the narrative is an original story that explores untreaded territory, featuring over 25 minutes of cinematics and offering roughly an hour of gameplay, similar in scope to the Adam Eve special.
That, to me, just moved it up on my list for the pure fact that I'd still get it for the fighting aspect of it, but fighting games nowadays, because I'm not going to go online. I'll get, mashed online. But the fighting game I'd play it for about a week, 2 weeks, and then I get bored of it. But knowing that they will have that story mode in there, that just pushed this up to my top in April.
I mean, especially being able to essentially play an episode of the show with content that has been cut. Obviously, just as a fan, just thirsting for more Invincible. Yeah, I am so over the moon for it. And that will be out on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
And just to give a shout out to Touchy Feely, because we were talking about it, you got to go watch this. I know you saw that it was on my Plex. Go watch this, man. From season 1, you will absolutely love this game. I mean, love this movie, this series.
Yeah, it is really incredible. It's a good animated show, and it's very unexpected. That's the thing.
Yes.
Invincible has so many plot twists that you cannot predict. It is great. But rounding out April 30th is another big title, is the next big PlayStation 5 exclusive from Housemarque Games, and this is Saros, the successor to Returnal. It is obviously only coming out on PlayStation 5. And this game, with all the previews that just came out earlier late last week, Saros looks to be really redefining what made Returnal special. And they are tuning up all of the things that were a little bit of a pain point in Returnal, and just absolutely refining what this game is and having a truly special third-person shooting roguelike. And the description of this game is: beneath the shadow of an ominous eclipse, Arjun Devraj, who is played by Rahul Kohli, who has been in many television shows, notably Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Bly Manor. He is an incredible actor. He was also in Gears 5. He played who was the real douchebag with the sunglasses that was always getting in Marcus's son's face.
Yeah, I know who he is. He fought him in the when they were in like the Gears.
Foz.
Foz,
Foz was his name. So he played Foz. So he is the titular character of this game. And you are a Soltari enforcer who will stop at nothing to pursue answers in the shape-shifting Carcosa, a world of dark secrets and hostile inhabitants. You master electrifying bullet battle combat, intense projectile focused gameplay with a unique neon infused aesthetic to overcome ferocious enemies and spectacular boss fights. Touchy asks, what is the definition of roguelike? I still don't get it. I thought FTL was considered a roguelike. The age-old question, what is a roguelike? So a roguelike is a subgenre of games characterized by procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the player character. It originates from the 1980 game Rogue. But to me, roguelike is, especially in the modern era, like a Hades, where you are going in, you are doing a run of these levels. You go as far as you can within the run. You are building up your character through different kinds of macro adjustments, I will say, where you get skills, and it might offer you like 3 different skills. You pick one that you want to, you're making builds on the fly, and your build might not work out. You might die. You die and you restart your run from the beginning. However, it is making continuous story progress as well. Like I said, that is the modern roguelike, where you are keeping permanent progression, but the actual inherent gameplay loop is you are going through these levels with brand new builds. And if you like builds, and like if you are an RPG player and love making builds, I think a roguelite is definitely for you, because it's not your build is not lasting throughout the whole game. Think of it as like at the end of each run, you are hitting reset on that skill tree and you're trying something new to get through the run. So that to me is what a roguelike truly is. But Returnal, I absolutely loved. And Saros looks to be even way better than Returnal. It looks to be super special. And I cannot wait to see this game in action.
Yeah, to me, again, my forward log, it looks great. If this was 5 years ago when I had nothing to play, I would definitely try this. But it's just not on the forward log.
And that's April. That was a lot of games coming out, a lot of big games coming out. What is your most excited one?
What? It's Invincible, but real close to that, real close is Samson.
Okay. And that one does come out on April 8th. For me, I think, funny enough, my top one is Pragmata. I think that's my most anticipated. Then Invincible, then Saros. I think those are my top 3 right now. Just because I played Pragmata. I know what that game's going to play like, and I'm really excited. And like I said, Capcom has not been missing. Capcom has been on a generational run. There has not been a bad game for them in quite a while. So I have full trust in them, and they're going to get my money. It's only $60, so it's not even a full price game anymore. So... But yeah, that is the month of April. So to all those who have been watching, let me know, are you interested in any of the games coming out this month? Are you going to be picking up any of them? And to all those who find this video later, let me know. Let me know in the comments. What game are you going to be picking up and playing? And if you find this video later, feel free to please like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. With all that being said, we are the Father and Son Gaming Podcast. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter.
I got one final thing to say, just to let everybody know. We got our Play Day passes for Monday. We just bought our SoCal tickets for SoCal Retro Gaming Fest in LA, and we are on the cusp of hopefully getting the Xbox. We just signed up to get the Xbox raffle to get into the
and IGN Live will be going to as well.
So again, we're looking forward to going out as we have for the last 2 years. This will be our 3rd year to LA. The big difference this year is going to be we have a podcast. So we're already talking about maybe doing some live stuff there. If not, taping some stuff and doing it in our live. But I think this year is going to be a lot more fun for us because we're going out through the eyes of a content creator. So I think that's what's really going to be cool. But we are on our way. We are, have a lot of tickets. We have a few more tickets to get. So we're excited. And going to the Xbox reveal for Gears this year, man, that's a dream come true for me. I was there when they announced E-Day. Now I want to be out there when they're, talking fully about the gameplay. So pretty excited.
Early June is when all this will hit, and we will bring each and every one of you along for the adventures. So yeah, that's it. I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay tuned. There are going to be streams throughout the week from yours truly, me. I'll be playing more Crimson Desert. There will also be another game I'll be playing. We have been sent a code for a game called Inky Blinky Bob. So I'm going to be playing that and showing that and checking it out, as it is a hot air balloon survival horror game. Very curious to see what it's all about. And then maybe a marathon stream here or there as we start gearing towards the next upcoming games that I'll probably stream. But stay tuned. And then this Friday is also the news podcast. I'm going to be doing it solo. So you'll be hearing my unadulterated opinions because he's not here to keep me in check. So all that being said, I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you all next time. Peace out, all.